Hey everybody, Coach here. Just finally getting back to my Shiba Ride update. I did some crazy stuff over the last week, and I haven't really done any postings because I wasn't sure how it was all going to work out. I was in the intent of swinging in and out of Shiba based on a cycle that I saw them, the coin coming up as a higher price about 1 to 3 a.m. and then a lower price about noon, and trying to buy and sell that. But instead, I ended up moving my shares into IoTex, which I bought it at about 22, just below 22 cents. And I actually transferred that out into a wallet. I set up a wallet. It's kind of messy process. I transferred it out into a wallet, and then I went on Uniswap, and I swapped that for a few different coins. I swapped it for um, the leash, which is one of the Shiba coins. I swapped it for Bone, which is the stake coin. That's the one that people can borrow against that earns you interest. Um, and I swapped it for Samada, which is a new coin that's trading at like, I don't know, 7 or 8 zeros and then a nine point, very, very small nothing. Um, and I couldn't get much. It's interesting, the process, because when you do this, the fees seem kind of steep, and then some ranges get too high. In other words, if I was trying to get an even dollar, that doesn't happen. And when I traded about $200 worth, well, it seemed like the fee was like $9, but then there's a mining fee on top of that. It was about $40 or $50. And I really contemplated it. I said, well, this isn't much money. This is one of those things that could take off, especially the Samata. And so I, went ahead and spent the 40, 50, even $60 for that. Whereas the Samata, they're such a lower price, I'm getting millions and millions of shares. And the others, it's not as low of a price, but I'm getting a little piece of the action, so to speak, and I didn't spend much to do it. It was a painstaking process. I thought I had lost my money. I couldn't find it. I was going through the different chats. I was, on it each day, trying to figure out what was going on. But eventually, I was able to get it back. And since I've gotten it back into my Coinbase wallet, I was able to get it back into Coinbase. Not the same thing, but the two do connect. And having it back into Coinbase, I was able to get it back into Shiba just in time for it to go down to 5,100. And I went ahead and bought a little bit more. So I'm behind on my Shiba shares, but I do have these other interests going on as well, and I did pull out almost $1,200 to set aside. Got birthdays, things like that. I want to take a little bit of that profit. So when I say I'm behind on my Shiba shares, I had 138 million. Right now I'm like 101 million, so I'm a third down. All the money allocates. I don't think I really lost much other than some of the trading fees and experience, maybe a couple $100. In retrospect, though, IoTex is going nuts right now. It's like third trading at 38 cents, where I would have had it at 22. So it would have been a significant profit right now just to stay in IoTex and don't do anything else. And in fact, I had sent over a text to one of my buddies who had some Shiba that would be before I did all this, said, hey, IoTex looks really good. When I moved to IoTex, I suggested, hey, you might want to trade your Shiba shares, can convert them to IoTex, which is I think a cost-free or a small fee type thing. It's better than going to cash and then cashing back because there's two fees involved there. I think that he did that. I need to check in with him today, especially considering where IoTex is really running to, and see if he took my advice at the time. Right now, she was on sale, so if any of you guys are interested in jumping in, it's still up from where we started long ago on the Shiba Ride, but more and more people are getting exposed to it. It's having the same kind of fluctuations you'd expect with most of the different coins that are out there that are being bought and sold. There's some up and coming like loop ring has taken off as well, and I wish I'd bought a ton of that when it first got out. But you just don't know these things. So I'll be looking for some new ones to come out and maybe some moves. But right now, I think the move that I'm watching for is for Shiba to come back up, and hopefully the timing will be good. That IOTEX will be down, or loop ring will be down, and I might move into one or both of those, or just move it over to cash and wait for those to take a little correction. Because what will happen with those two is they will do a correction, they will fall, but it may not be for another 3 or 4 days, and it may continue to just go up and up because the people get this anxious feeling that they want to, what's going up, I got to get a piece of it, don't want to be too late. And, they're not wrong entirely, but it's the American way to go ahead and buy that really high, and then it turns around in the next day and just dives. So I try to be patient on some of this kind of stuff, especially when I didn't get in at the bottom. That's my suggestion to you as well. So I don't want to take you to take this as advice. Remember, this is like gambling. Never put in more than you'd be willing to stake if you went in and played some poker, which for me is a couple $100 at a time. So hopefully you're in the same boat. I'd hate for you to lose all your money, and definitely don't blame me if you do. This is the latest update for the Shiba Ride. Coach out.